everyone. Welcome to my retro media room. And today I decided to do a complete tour of my movies and games and their primary displays. Just a quick note, I do have more in other places like boxes, closets, storage drawers, and so on. But these that I'm going to be showing are all of my actual active display shelves. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So to start with, this is my primary movie display, as you can see here. Along the top here, because you got the shelves right here in this frame. It's all shelving, and then from that point up is all stacked on top of each other. So it is sturdy. I definitely got my Tetris on, and over the course of time, stacked these up together really well. It's very solid. It's not going to fall or anything like that. Don't get earthquakes here, so that's not an issue. So yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's held up for years now, not a problem. And that's all, toys, laser discs, Blu-rays, DVDs, betas, you name it. It's just all the oddly shaped odds and ends, and I just, if they're stackable and make sense shape wise, then I make it work. All right. So to start with, we got the top, as I said, all the random and collectibles and different things here. A few of them you might recognize in some past videos, stuff we've talked about. And starting at the top here, the very top shelf here, it's all 4K Blu-rays and sets. Now you'll notice that none of these are in alphabetical order because I go by case type and shape just to make them fit. At some point, I will do alphabetical, but until I'm able to do so, I just do what works for the moment. So, and then we got in the second shelf here, combination of Criterion, Arrow Video, and more addition, and then of course continuing on with slipcase 4K Blu-ray all the way through, and then by this third shelf here, that's 4K all the way up to the Ring there and Steelbook, and then it starts into Blu-ray Steelbooks, and the Blu-ray sets, and to Blu-ray sets and slip covers, and to all the rest of the Blu-rays. So pretty much from this shelf all the way down to the bottom here, these are all just Blu-rays. And along the bottom there, as you notice, because they're some of the more oddly shaped box sets and other box sets I've had for a while, and so on, to fill that in. So yeah, those are my movies. And now we'll go on to the main wall. All right, and next we have my primary game wall. So starting from left to right, and this is similar here where I have consoles and memorabilia and big cases and different things all stacked on top of these shelves that are all in a row here. So along the top here, as you can see, got different random odds and ends. Some laser discs. They're stacked by each other, special editions. Some consoles, mini console boxes. A handmade custom Final Fantasy 3D picture. And just figures. It's just I built this over the course of several years, so just piecing together a little bit at a time. And so what I start here, you got my PlayStation 3 games, into PlayStation 2 games, into Wii, and then GameCube, and then OG Xbox, into Sega Saturn, into Dreamcast, and then on the top here, this is a little bit of a mixture. So you got import Sega Saturn games that are in standard jewel case, and then you got along the top and side there PlayStation 1, but it's kind of all alone here in its little section in the middle here by itself for some custom case Game Boy games. So booklets and cartridges and everything inside of these, but these are custom hard shell cases that I ordered from a really good seller, or from a really good guy who makes really high quality custom cases I've mentioned before. But then, as you can see, all the rest of it from that down, all the rest is PlayStation 1, which, from what I remember, I have the PlayStation 1 is my largest single collection for one console, which is fine which is good because PlayStation 1 is my favorite of all time. And at the bottom here, there's standard jewel cases, and at the bottom here are all of the long box PlayStation 1 games I have, which I love. So, and then back at the top here, and you got Sega Genesis. And at the same as before, none of these are alphabetical. I go by color coordination, console type, where they can fit, just how I can make them fit and they look good. Alphabetical, not now. Well, I've tried and failed. One of these days I will, but when I can have more shelves and everything I have out in display and everything, I'll do it. But for now, I just go with what works. More Sega Genesis and into 32 Sega Genesis into 32X. This is a bit of a hodgepodge. So you got, I just kind of like threw an Xbox game in there, some more Genesis, and then into Atari, and then kind of the runoff PlayStation 1 oddball box set games, like all these collector's edition sets of games, which I really glad to have those, and then these oddball big box games into the greatest hits green label because I didn't want those to mix up with the black label because I just don't like the way it looks. So I bunched up all the green greatest hits together, and then at the bottom some runoff, PS2, Xbox, and so on, some Sega Saturn. So that's just a runoff shelf. It's just I just kind of stuffed it on its own down there. And then now we're into Nintendo territory. So just so you see here, these Nintendo games. These are all official hard shell cases with the Nintendo games in them like this. And they have, and not all of them, but some of them, wherever I had them, they have the booklets inside the back there. So I really love these shell cases for when I don't have original boxes, right? So Nintendo, and then into the ones I do have boxes for, and then into custom boxes. So from Final Fantasy, well, obviously that's that repro I've mentioned before, but on a short I put out there if you want to see it. But then all of these that look like this, these are hard shell cases. These are all custom cases with authentic games inside of them, which look beautiful on the shelf. I love these custom cases. They're like $6 to $7 a piece, so substantially cheaper if you can't get original, which are hard and expensive to find. And all these loose ones, these are in clear protective cases and a sleeve. So the cartridges, I do not have loose cartridges anywhere. If it's not an authentic case, it's a custom case, or it's a shell case, or it's a clear case. There's always something covering cartridges. I do not have any loose cartridges on any of these shelves anywhere. They're all inside of something, right? And then now we start here into Super Nintendo games. Actually, that starts down here. So past that last Nintendo custom case, all those shell cases are Super Nintendo games with booklets. And then this entire shelf here are all in-box Super Nintendo games. And those are custom ones that, as you can see how they change the look of them down there toward the second from the bottom, and then the bottom. Those are all custom shell cases of Super Nintendo games. Because the guy's website, he does Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and that's another thing. Some of these Genesis are custom, like I keep them kind of grouped together in their own thing, like those from the Power Rangers, the movie, to the Gargoyles, or to the Shadow Dancer. Those are all custom boxes. Those aren't authentic boxes. So, actually, the Virtual Fighter 32X too. So these are all custom boxes. So I kind of keep them grouped together. I don't mix them up and claim they're authentic when they're not. I like to I don't mind getting reproductions of certain things, but I never act like they're not reproductions when they are. I always differentiate. Even though I like having them, they're not authentic, so therefore they're not worth as much. But they are neat, but they look good on the shelf. They're convenient. I like them. They're cheaper, so I'm in the middle with that. Some people are purists and they're like, absolutely not. For me, I'm just transparent about it. So that's Super Nintendo all the way down the bottom, and then right here we got the 64 games to start. Super Nintendo N2 of Star Fox, and now these all the way the only and as you can see with these shell cases, they look completely different. So there's no the Sega Genesis ones. They make them look just like authentic ones, which is fine. But that's why I differentiate with these. I mean, it's self-explanatory. These are clearly not original boxes, so I don't even. But I still group them together because they look nice together. But it's not like you're trying to fool anybody. So I actually prefer that. That's why I don't have very many Genesis ones. I just have a few. But these are all authentic. Well, that's a newer Super Nintendo game right there. That's not a original Super Nintendo. It's like a fan made Super Nintendo game right there in box. But anyway, so you got 64 into these authentic 64 shell cases. Most of them are kind of clear, and the other one, well, all of them are transparent, but most of them are just kind of a standard white or gray. And then there's some colored ones, and that's that section. That's kind of a closer look at the wall here. So we'll move on to the next one. This shelf I'm going to just briefly cover. So at the top, starting at the top here, we got Steel Battalion on OG Xbox. It's the entire controller set and everything that literally covers a small table. The Infinity Saga up there. Now this is where I have my entire Switch library and a few other PS Vita and odds and ends. And then this is just kind of multiple rows of overflow / duplicates and so on of Blu-rays and DVDs and a PlayStation 2 games and Xbox games behind that, and just all overflow stuff that I just moved over here because I just didn't have room on my main display. And then down at the very bottom are various strategy guides. So yeah, that's just kind of my corner shelf here of odds of just kind of miscellaneous / Switch. And behind one of these is also my Wii U library. I decided to put over here instead of main display just because, well, I had to sacrifice a library and that was my smallest one, so I put it here. All right, on to the next one. And for our final shelf, this is where my primary modern games are. So as you noticed, it didn't really go beyond like OG Xbox, PS2, and Wii. Really, Wii was like the highest it goes on this. Oh, and the runoff shelf, I had my Wii U games. You just couldn't see them, about a row of them. But on this one, this is where all of my PS5, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, 360, Xbox One, Series X, and all the things on top would go to. So this is my modern primary by the entertainment center, by the current consoles currently playing shelf, right? So on top here, you got different stacks of different things, Final Fantasy VII PC, so on, figure special editions, big editions, some DVD. Well, that Three Stooges there was in Power Rangers and Looney Tunes. I just kind of put them there because I needed somewhere to put them. And onto the top shelves here, I try to put it where all my most modern stuff are on top. So all my PS5 games, and then special box editions, and then into PS4, all the way down to where Xbox One and Xbox One games and Series X games start. Mostly Xbox One older games, and then into Series X newer games, special box games, steelbooks, slipcases. Now, these slipcases, these right here, these steelbook protectors, these are actually custom steelbook protectors. They're not authentic. They're not licensed. I got them from a website that makes them by hand because Microsoft doesn't have enough of these for steelbooks. So I have PS5. I have and this is a PS5 version of the same thing. That's not official. But it's very nice. I can't stand having bare steel books. I try to always give them protectors, because I need to buy some more because I got a bare one right here, right? So anyway, so we got the rest of those into 360, all the way down to the bottom, because many of these, not all of them, but many, are backwards compatible on Xbox One. So that's why I kept most of my 360 games right here with Xbox One, because so many of them work in my Series X. So that's the beauty of the Series X, all the backwards compatibility. So that's pretty much it. That's the tour. Those are all my primary shelves. There's obviously more, but I'm not going to show them here. Just stuff in boxes and other drawers and stuff. But But tell me what you think. If you see something you really want to see, let me know. And I'm still thinking of more ideas for some videos to make to talk about certain items that definitely people want to see unboxed and all that. It's just fun. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.